Well, folks, I think I have a pretty good idea of what you're looking for in your next ride for you and your growing family. Now, we do things a little differently here at Mazda. My job isn't to waste your time just to sell you a car. I'm going to talk to you about Mazda's unique SkyActiv technology and our unique product so that you guys can make an executive decision of what vehicle is right for you. Now, with that being said, I think the CX5 rocks, honestly. I think it's great for young people, older people, people with families. It'll be great for you guys and your two children. And before I bring it up, let me show you a few reasons why. On my iPad here, I've pulled up the 2015 CX5, and here are just a few of the reviews that it's won. The most important, I think, for you guys is the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. Let's face it, guys, when you're in the car with your family, that's huge. Motor Trend won first place over the Ford Escape, Toyota RAV4, and Subaru Forester. But the one that I like the most for you guys is this one right here. US News Best Cars rated the top small SUV for families. So with that being said, I'm going to show you some more reviews, and you guys can check them out. All you do with a touch of a finger, it'll give you all the information that you need. You can check these out while I pull one up for us. I'll be right back. Alrighty, folks. What I've brought up for you is a 2015 Mazda CX5 Touring all-wheel drive. Now let's talk a little bit about SkyActiv technology. Actually, Mazda has had SkyActiv technology in the racing world for years. They've actually found a way to bridge it to everyday life. And what I mean by that, let's start talking about the roll cage that you and your family will be sitting in. Mazda actually evolved the Triple H body construction by putting rings around the entire roll cage. Those rings are made up of high tensile steel. They're lighter, stronger, more agile. They actually work in tandem with the struts in the front to give you a very car and driver feel. You know, on the test drive I'll show you guys this, but I call it the oh my gosh moment. When you're driving down the road and something comes out into your lane and you have to swerve out of your lane into the incoming lane and back again, this vehicle with its roll cage and struts in the front will give you that driver controlled car is one feel. Very grounded, you're not going to feel any sway in the back end of the vehicle. But not only that, this is a 13-to-1 compression ratio in the engine. That actually blows most of my competitors out of the water. What does that mean for you guys? It's actually going to utilize every drop of fuel almost twice as much. It'll work in tandem with the transmission, which is a 6-speed automatic with manual sport mode. Now this transmission, like the roll cage, is lighter, stronger, more agile. It's going to shift through the gears even quicker than you and I. All of those things together with a tight turning radius, so when you're doing the U-turns on a highway or if you're parking in a busy parking lot, will just navigate into that spot. That's another thing I'll show you on the test drive. All of those things together make SkyActiv technology. SkyActiv technology is a game changer for Mazda. Now this is an all-wheel drive system. You're looking at 24 city and 30 highway when she's in the all-wheel drive system. Let's talk about that for a minute. For 95% of the time, honestly, folks, she'll be in front-wheel drive. When it detects that you're going through some thick, heavy snow, water, I call it slip to grip. That automatic all-wheel drive will automatically slip in for you to give you and your family better control on those bad roads. That really is a great, great safety feature. Another thing that I like about the touring trim level is you said you have 2 kids, 2 and 4. I know what it's like when you're coming from the store. You've got your bags in your hands, the kids are gripping onto your pants. With the touring trim level, all you have to do with the key in your pocket or your purse, press this button once, it'll unlock the driver's door, unlock it twice, it'll unlock all 4. Now the kids are jumping in the car, they're out of the parking lot, and they're in the vehicle safely. Also, starting at the touring trim level, you get radar in the rear quarter panel of each side of this vehicle. What that means for you, it's called blind spot monitoring. You're going down the road 20 miles or faster. If something or someone is in your blind spot, it's actually going to shine right on your mirror. Now let's say you and the kids are singing to Frozen. The kids have toys in their hands. You look over your right shoulder like you've done 100 times. You put your turn signal on, not seeing that person in your blind spot, it'll actually chime inside the cabin for you. So that's a great safety feature. Not only that, you've got the turn signals here on the side so everyone on the road knows where you're going. If we come along to the front end, Mazda has really given the CX5 a very aggressive front end. From the side, she looks like a shark. In the front, the touring trim level will give you fog lights, which will just light up the sides of the road for the critters when you're going down the road on a dark night. Mazda has a 5-point grille. It's called the Kodo design, which means soul of motion. Soul of motion ties right back into car and driver as one, folks. So when you go down the road in this vehicle, you're actually going to feel like you're part of the vehicle. It's a great, fun driving experience. It's where Mazda brings the zoom zoom back to everyday life. Now, this vehicle will have 184 horsepower with 185 pounds of torque behind it. That's what's really going to give it its zoominess. Now, if we come along to the back, a lockable gas tank, which I really do love. It's locked, it locks inside. About 5 o'clock underneath the emblem is a little spongy area. Before I open it all the way, let me just direct your attention to the backup camera. The backup camera is positioned right above the license plate, which really is a smart place for it. It'll show you the ground right below your vehicle where kids and dogs typically like to lay and drop their things. But not only that, it's fish-eyed. So when you're backing out at Wegmans, you can actually see the people in the cars coming down the aisle. So that's super effective. This will also have a driving pattern for you, a backup pattern per se, so that you can back efficiently right up to the car behind you. As we open up the hatch, the touring trim level will give you a 40-40-20 split, which rocks. These handles will spring load those seats right down. So if you want to separate the kids or bring some long things home, skis, you can do that. With the seats down, you have almost 65 cubic square feet of room back here if you have to bring something large home. With the seats up, it's going to give you 34.1 cubic area. But what I do like about it, it's a very expansive area. Let's say the 4 of you want to go to the park. You can easily do that. Learning how to ride a bike. Not quite ready yet. A duffel bag for snacks, and you still have room for a cooler. Mazda also makes a super light hatch, which makes it very user-friendly. So why don't you hop right on in and I'll show you the inside of this great CX5. Now the beautiful thing about the CX5 is it comes with a smart key. Like I said earlier, as long as the smart key is in your pocket, it'll actually recognize you and you can get in the vehicle. Once you're in the vehicle, you can keep the key right in your purse or your pocket. You would put your foot on the brake and we would press this button. But since we're inside, we're going to have you take your foot off the brake. And I'm just going to press this twice so you can see all of the auxiliary power. Now that we're inside, I just want to show you how much room there is in here. These things are freakishly larger inside once you're in them. Mazda actually bowed out the doors so that we have tons of elbow-to-elbow room sitting here side by side. They make a little bit longer seat, so whether you're short or tall, it's going to give you a little bit more support down here. And really, it's a very comfortable seat. Going to the dashboard, remember that backup camera that I talked about? This is where it's going to come up. This is a 5.8-inch screen, and what I call it is kind of like your command center. Not only does it show the bumper and the ground right below it, but it's fish-eyed. So you can see way down the road and the people in cars that are coming. So when you're backing out at Wegmans, you can actually see that traffic behind you. Now, along with that screen will also have your Bluetooth, your Pandora, your auxiliary. This vehicle is equipped with a USB CD player and auxiliary. So you can easily go, if the kids are crying, you can easily go to Frozen to calm them right down. Now, this is going from your music to their music at just a touch of a button. I could hear your kids singing this in the back seat right now. Mazda also gives you this simple little thing. If you notice the fit and finish in here, it is outstanding. But Mazda actually gives you this little hockey puck. What is this hockey puck for? Genius. If you actually have a small coffee and your wife has a large coffee, it'll actually share up the cup holder for you. I tell my customers that a lot of them use their phones just like that. It just gives you one more place that's easily accessible for all of your stuff. Coming across the dashboard, you'll have your blind spot monitoring. If you could look at your driver's side mirror, I'm just going to show you. That is what will light up when someone is in your blind spot. Now it'll actually chime just like you've heard if you put your turn signal on. Mazda makes a smaller steering wheel so it'll feel a little bit more comfortable in a female hand, and in a gentleman's hand on a long trip it's a great ride. They actually have it grooved in several different places that you can actually rest your hand. The steering wheel will telescope in and out as well as up and down. Your cruise control is right here. Your information panel, love that. If you look right here for me, it'll give you your outside temperature, your fuel range. Now if you toggle that switch up and down, it'll give you your miles per gallon, your average miles per hour. Most of my customers like to keep it right on the fuel range. It'll take you right down to the mile as to how many gallons you have in this tank. In here, we have all of the technology that really a couple needs. You've got a USB, an auxiliary, another charger, as well as one up here. Honestly, most of my customers these days are streaming their music right off their phone through the Bluetooth. It rocks. This Bluetooth will also bring up your contact list. You can set in speed dial numbers for the 8 people that you call the most. My customers find this just a very fun car and friendly ride. Okay folks, so you're ready for the test drive. Now I'm going to be the funnest test driver you've ever been on a test drive with, because we're actually going to do a few maneuvers. The first maneuver we're going to do is that oh my gosh moment, so you can see how well controlled this vehicle is. The second maneuver you're going to do is we're going to park into a parking spot in an empty lot, and you're going to do what I call a controlled donut. I'm going to show you how tight this turning radius is. You're actually going to put this vehicle right back in the same spot you started with. And the third thing that we're going to look at is our controlled braking. This vehicle has a wonderful braking system which will actually bite down on all 4 tires to help you come to a smooth, controlled stop. Sippy cups aren't going to come flying from the back seat, and your wife's purse isn't going to come flying off the front. All of those things together, you'll get to experience the SkyActiv technology. You'll get to experience that 6-speed automatic transmission and the torque behind the horsepower. So what do you say? Let's go for a ride.